way and gotten the same
So
thing
what
across
did you
that I
learn
meant,
from that?
because it was the same idea either way to me,
Right.
but it wasn't at all the same to
But
them.
see, I really think that everything that comes out of our mouth, we need to learn from. Like, oh, I can be like this, and it's easier. Or, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
But just stop
I
and
know
take a
how
minute
to
think.
exactly.
Think about it. And when you think about it, think, okay, I love these people. They're making me angry, but I love these people, and I want to express to them, as I'm telling them how angry they've made me, how much I love them unconditionally. I want to express this to them, so I'm going to appreciate them while I'm telling them why I feel the way I do about whatever it is. That's easy. It's just not the normal choice.
And so many times and you have to look at it on the receiving end too, because so many times somebody will say something to you and you'll think, wow, what did I do to deserve that? That's when you need to ask questions. Did you mean to say that? Because that kind of made me feel like this. Oh my God, no, that's not what I meant at all. I meant everything should be clarified, not only with what you say, but the way you receive things.
Right.
Because
and
you
we
don't
all
ever,
have different
because you
filters.
could dwell on that all freaking day.
Yeah.
What did I do to make them feel like that? When a year later you'll bring it up and they'll go, wow, that wasn't what I meant at all.
And that's what I mean by be happy and joyous no matter what the conditions, because you'll get along better with those around you, and you'll be able to have that exchange of caring, loving words, even if it's talking about something that's not necessarily nice.
Right.
If you have to, talk about something. I mean, I'm not saying you have to sugarcoat everything. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to, it's all in perspective.
Come from a place of love, not fear.
That's right. And not anger and frustration.
Not anger and frustration.
But acceptance and compassion. Compassion for the other person's feelings, right?
At Christmas time, we always are seeing people that maybe we only see once a year, and sometimes there's a reason we only see these people once a year.
Yeah.
Those are perfect words to take to heart when you are like almost everybody has the drunk uncle, and he might get really obnoxious, but laugh it off. It's not your circus, you see him once a year because you have to.
And if you don't like him, go to the other room.
Yeah, make the best of it. Or tell him to go have a nap or something. Sleep it off, hunk.
Get him a cup of coffee.
Yeah. No. But, that, and make it easier for yourself. Make it easier for everybody else by just being accepting of people the way they are without reading more into them than need be.
Yes. And
without taking anything personally. Somebody, Aunt Mabel may come over and rip you up one side and down the other, but at home, what happened? Maybe her husband was ripping her up one side and down the other.
You got to stop it somewhere.
Right.
Let
it be with you.
You kick your dog syndrome or whatever.
Right.
You
pass the buck.
Yeah, it all rolls downhill.
Right.
But you got to stop it somewhere. Be the stopper. Be the one to stop it.
And you never know who, by taking things and being like that, you never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
Or who's going to learn from that. And years from then, people, did you see the way Julia handled that?
Right.
That was really good.
Lead by example.
Yes.
You can't, I put something up on Facebook. It just came to me. I was praying the other day and meditating, and it just popped in my head. It says, whatever it is, offer it to people. Don't force it upon them, right? Because if you offer advice to somebody, are they likely to listen, much less take it from you, if you just offer it out of the blue?
No.
Right. But if they come to you
and ask,
But if you're trying to force that advice on somebody, because what came up? Oh gosh, we were talking. It was theological again. I was talking with somebody about asking for things in prayer. Okay. So they were saying, I feel bad. Like I shouldn't ask God for like money and stuff like that. And I'm like, who else are you going to ask?
Yeah, why not?
I said, who else are you going to ask? It's like you're not being greedy. You're just trying to be comfortable and have security and love and be able to take care of your family. And for whatever reason, I mean, to ask for money is inanimate object anyway. It's not really, it doesn't have, the only reason it matters is because of the way that the government set us up a long time ago that it matters. But I mean, in reality, that's not, I don't consider that something bad to ask for because, you're going to your father and you're asking him, how many of your kids have come to you and asked you for money? I mean, my kids have come to me and asked me for money and I don't hold it against them. In fact, sometimes it's a way for us to figure out a lesson for them even. Like, well, maybe if you do this for a few days and help me out, you can earn enough money, whatever the case may be. But it's like, I guess what I'm getting at is I basically told him, I said, look, I said, God wants us to come to him. Creator, whoever you call it, wants us to come to them. They want us as their children to be able to come to them. Now, are they going to follow us around and force their will down our throats? No, because we were given free will, free choice as humans. But they want us to come to them.
And they also want us to be happy.
Yes, they want us to be happy, but they want us to come ask. Because by coming and asking the Lord for something, that blesses him. That says, my child loves me enough and trusts me enough to come to me and ask me for something that she needs, and I'm going to give it to her. And if you look at it that way, then really there's nothing you can't ask your father for.
That's right.
Or your mother.
Because
or
it's
creator,
unconditional love.
Unconditional love, yes. Unconditional. I got a Christmas story I want to throw in.
All
I've
right.
been waiting for because you know how our stuff leads us
Yes.
from here to here to here.
Yes.
And I've been waiting for it to lead us to something. Well, it hasn't quite yet, so I'm going to sort of take hold of the steering wheel.
Okay, then.
Okay. So a few years back, one of my boys had a girl who was a girlfriend, had been with her for a while. Her family was not into Christmas. Her family was not into celebrating. Her family was kind of fragmented, and they just, there was kids in the house, and, there wasn't a tree, and there really wasn't much, and it wasn't financial driven. It just was what it was. Never was celebrated much in their house. Christmas wasn't, So she comes to our house the first year. They were together a couple of years. She comes to our house the first year, and of course I made sure that each of the boys got her something small, just trinkets, but every year they get their money and they want to go, and when they go to the mall, they're so excited to buy for other people, and that's a great lesson in of itself anyways, that they're excited to buy for other people. So I let them do that, and so they go and they bought for her, and it was just something small. But she got like maybe 5 little trinket gifts all told from each of us.
That's really cute.
Yeah. She was so beside herself. I mean, she was, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just crying, like tears of joy, and just had no.
That's so cute.
Like it never even occurred to her to even what that would be like to have somebody just like have a little pile of presents, and like, I mean, it was simple, and I mean, all the boys were like, oh, I feel bad for it later, they're like, oh, I feel bad for her because, that's sad that she's never had that. Well, then the next year, again, she came over and she had gifts, and she was excited by that. And again, but she practically lived at our house quite a bit of the time. She was with us so often. Well, anyways, Christmas morning comes and everybody opens their gifts, and she had come over that morning so she could spend Christmas with JP, and they opened gifts, and I went to the bathroom later to get ready. I showered and did whatever, and I was in the shower, and I remember hearing the door open, and it's very odd for one of my kids to come in when I'm in the shower because I'm a girl and they're all boys, and that just doesn't happen at my house. They're very like, ew, Mom. You know, like you don't accidentally get a glimpse of Mom, right? So they're funny. So they never come in the bathroom when I'm in the shower.
Right.
And even though we have a solid shower curtain and everything. And so anyways, I heard the door open. I heard somebody come in. And I could hear them just kind of standing around, like not doing anything really. And
weird, yeah.
And I was like, who's there? I was like, who is that? And it was my oldest. It was JP. And he said, Mom, I just wanted to tell you something. And I was like, okay, what is going on? Like, this is weird. And he's like, I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Aw.
And I was like, for what, son? And he said, thank you for all the Christmases you've given us.
Aw.
And he said, I never realized it when I was a kid that we didn't have a lot because you always made sure we had something. We had a lot. He says, I always thought I was rich. He said, I never knew another family could be the way that her family is they've never experienced that. They've never shown that to her. And I just see how blessed we are that we have you and Dad and that you guys take care of us that way. He says, I am blessed. He says, if I never got another thing for Christmas, I am so blessed by the memories that I've shared with my family growing up. He said, I just want to thank you. And I said, I just want to wring your neck because the only time you would tell me that is when I'm in the shower and I can't get to you. You little pooper. Because that's really what it was. He knew there was, was going to be a little shield there to the sappiness because he's not a real emotional, sappy kind of fella. So he leaves and I'm just sitting there and I'm just bawling because I'm like, that little
that
poop,
got me too, right.
But that's what it is, and that's what it's about, and that's what unconditional love is about, because you've got to show it to your loved ones. You got to show it extendedly to humankind. But most importantly, you got to show it to yourself. And to me, that's the true meaning of the holidays and the spirit of the holidays. And yes, it should happen all year round, but if it takes the holidays for people to focus on it, so be it, because at least they're focusing on it, right?
Right.
So that's my Christmas story for you.
I love
this
it.
week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm all teared up. And
I know you are. That's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay.
So we never got to yours. I want to know yours. Let's switch gears.
A Christmas story?
No,
or
what?
My subject?
Your subject. What's your subject?
It was kind of like what we were talking about last week. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You know, I wrote an article for Women to Women magazine this past issue, and it was called Be Present.
Let's say that again. Women to Women magazine. 2 numeral 2. Women to Women magazine.
Right.
Go.
And it was called Be Present. Mm-hmm. And it's all about how we get so caught up in the holiday that we forget what really matters. Now I'm going to get all choked up. And what really matters is that you're there, that you are present. Gifts are nice, but presence is so much more important.
It is.
And when people look back on past Christmases, it's not the gift. It's not, you don't hear people say, well, it was the year you got me that ring, or it was the year that we got to go home. It was the year that Billy got out of the service and came home and surprised everybody. It's always to do with somebody's presence, and that's where the true gift of Christmas is.
Yes. And I'm blessed with that this year because I have the presence of my children all under the same roof together. We're not worried about gifts this year much. It's been a hard year. It's okay. And they're okay.
It is.
And we are so happy. What did JP say? He said to me, he said, Mom, My gift this year was getting got. So thanks for coming and getting me because I got got.